don't know that because they can't use American chips in those things anymore. You don't know that actually the air unit is the one thing that has American chips that they can't replace anywhere else. So therefore, they've got to drop it until the Air 2 unit's ready. So.
Well, yeah, I went ahead and hit the live button. So I guess I'll go ahead and hit the intro now.
You can hit the intro.
Hi there, what's up? And welcome to Drone Therapy Season 5, Episode 12. Oh, and he just got in. The plane just landed. It just got here from Thailand. And we've got a full panel so far. Welcome, everybody. Like I said, Season 5, Episode 12, Whispers, Rumors, and other... Rumors, Whispers, and other drone bullshit. Wait a minute. Shut up. Is Cuppi in the chat? Oh, okay. No, that was.
No, Cuppi's not in yet. Is he joining us or is he gonna like lay low tonight?
No, he's supposed to be coming in. He's going to okay. I don't know.
He's scared of me.
He's flying FPV. What was it he said? What was it he said, guys? It was God. Yeah, FFG. Flying for God. He's doing FPV in the church parking lot. Let me go through here real quick. Let's see.
Is that a drug?
I don't know.
Okay.
He wants a new drug.
Flat out e-bikes, new drone projections, JSK Enterprise, Fly Zone Drone, quadcopters, novice quads, Corey Man, Chris Wedgeworth. Did I say that right? Yep, Wedgeworth. Geeksvana's in the house. Leonard Oglesby, Matt Kunduff. Phantom Flight 101, glad to have everybody in the house. And as you can see, we're going to be talking about all these rumors and stuff going on. And isn't it funny that I put up a show about rumors and drone bullshit, and DJI decides they're going to jerk the rug out from underneath the people? Are they really?
We can't play Night Ranger, can we? Like Rumors in the Air. I love that song, but that'd be like a copyright strike.
Talk about that. Without further ado,
love that song.
Let me throw it around the room and let everybody say hi and tell them what they might think about all this drone BS going on tonight. And I will start off with none other than Mr. Sean Hickey. Geeksvana, where's that guy?
Hi everybody. My name's Sean and I'm an alcoholic. Oh, the wrong meeting. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot going on with DJI at the moment, and I the only people that really know are them. They have kept their cards very close to the chest forever, and they're doing it even more so at the moment. So what's happening with the FPV unit? Who knows? We'll talk about that later in the show. I am excited to see what the DJI Air 2S looks like when that gets out, because obviously that is a confirmed product on the way to us. So I'm very excited to see what implications that has for the EU and the UK in terms of certified labeling. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun year. I'm live streaming a little self plug here. I'm live streaming tomorrow night with Felix from Quadcopter Guide on the Geeksvana channel, and we're going to be talking about DJI in 2021 and predicting what we think might happen and what direction they might go in during this year, because we think it's going to be a very exciting year with an awful lot of DJI products released. So DJI fanboys, welcome to the Dream Zone.
Yes, Felix is super cool. Who are you going to throw it to? Sean?
You've ruined the edit now. I have to choose, do I? Okay, yeah. Next up is John Cuppi. Oh, wait, he didn't show up because he's scared of me. Okay, we'll go to Chuck.
Thanks, Sean.
No problem.
I'm with Sean. I think last year was what, 2 drones? They had the Air 2 and the Mini 2.
Yeah, and the Osmo Action whatever.
And the Osmo thing. Pocket 2.
Yeah.
No, I think this is going to be a much bigger year. They have
I
some
agree.
stuff up their sleeves, and the Air 2S intrigues me. I always say DJI won't take my money again, but yet they always find a way to get it out of my pocket.
Yeah, they got me to buy an FPV drone. So
well, me too, and
pretty clever.
Yeah, and I know there's another guy who's going to be up after me
I'm
talking
in
about this
recovery.
stuff, who's blown the living crap out of the thing in Thailand for like a week straight.
I'm in recovery. I
No,
found a way
I'm
out.
not in recovery. I'm a droneaholic, and I can stop anytime I want to.
Yeah, right. We need a t-shirt. That's it. New t-shirt, Droneaholic.
Droneaholic.
And I don't need a meeting.
It's been 4 years since I got my first drone, but
No,
unfortunately, I've
we
had
said-
7
we need it,
like
we-
since.
We need it. We say we don't. I don't need a meeting, but we need to fly in.
Okay, can I have the camera back again for a moment? Because
No, you cannot.
because I
yes,
haven't
you can.
been on YouTube very much.
As
For a
long as
couple of
those
weeks.
checks keep coming
So-
in.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, he stole my
Well,
camera. He son of a-
I'm a true droneaholic because I completely.
He froze. I froze him. Ha, 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 ha. Freeze, Sean.
Okay, all right. Who are you going to, Chris or Keith?
I'm going to Keith because he's
All
going
right.
to tell you about how he flew the hell out of this thing on the video.
Hello, I'm Keith. Good morning, everyone. It's very early in the morning here, and yes, I have been flying the DJI FPV drone quite a bit, and really enjoying it. Not flying it in manual, just in sports mode,
Excellent
and I managed to
video,
get
by
some.
the
Thank you. I've managed to get some good stuff out of it. I'm excited by the 2S. But annoyed because I've just bought an Air 2, and now there's going to be a new one literally 3 weeks after I bought the last one.
And that's the one I'm going to buy just to tick you off, Keith.
Yeah, no, well, I think I'm going to end up having to. I don't know because I can't sell the Air 2 because it came with the smart controller. So I bought the smart control combo. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't know. It's going to have a lot on it to convince me to buy it. I mean, what can I put on it that's really going to make it that much better than the Air 2? And I don't see them putting a 1-inch sensor on it or anything like that.
Yeah, everybody's got a different thought in their mind. Chris, what's up with you, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Bill. I want to tell y'all something. A rumor is started for a reason, and it's 99% true.
Yeah, DJI
There's
knows what they're
always-
doing, man.
There's always truth in a rumor.
Let's see. Let me do it. I'm gonna
The
do it now, folks.
The Phantom 5 rumor's still alive.
Yeah, that's true. It is, but I think that I do think it exists. But that interchangeable lens, just they figured, oh, people aren't ready to spend $3,500 on a drone yet.
You taking
Oh,
a
Sean's
picture?
been-
You taking a
That's
picture
a
for
bit
Cuppi,
spendy.
Sean?
Wait, there it is. Ready, folks? There it is. For your attention, DJI digital FPV system is no longer in production. For the latest in DJI technology, please view our product recommendations below. And that's all you see.
Buy the drone.
Sean, look
Buy
like
me, buy me.
What's Sean
need a
doing
little-
with his camera?
He needs a
Wait,
little
wait.
extra.
Is that like what was that dude on SCTV, like the 3D cinema? You remember? It's like, can you do that, Sean? You remember that from Second City Television with John Candy?
He's
Yeah.
showing the frozen screen.
I'm doing that Zoom thing where you can pretend you're not in the Zoom meeting. Is it? No, it's not working. Okay.
Is that how you? That's how you start up your Windows Hello. You hold that picture up and you're.
That's it exactly. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's my ride. Let me spread this back
Nice.
out here. Let's do this. There we go. That's a little bit better. Let me run through here. We got Mike McReynolds. We got Capture Life Connection. Steve's in the house. Drone Days. Patrick Sutton. Chris Woodworth again. Scott Nadeau. Fly Zone Drone. Good to see you. Idaho Quadcopter. Chris Hope. Did I miss anybody? Y'all see anybody I missed? Anybody I missed? Here, I'm gonna throw up some names. Okay, now y'all know that's what we're here, right? We're talking about rumors. So if anybody's got a wrench or anything, and you know about rumors, start throwing some links up, and we'll go ahead and dive into it. First rumor, or not rumor anymore. What do you all think of the Fimi X8 Mini?
Femi, what? Who cares? It's not DJI.
Oh,
I think it's another one of those fantastic little drones that's going to be terrible. Because it's going to be a drone that I think has all the makings of something that could be good, and I think there's going to be, it'll either have a really great camera and it won't fly properly, or it will fly great and it'll have a terrible camera, or something. Unfortunately, I think something will let it down. I would love to see some drones come out which are comparable or even chasing comparability with DJI, but I can't see it with that particular product from what they've done so far, and I haven't seen them jumping with their models upwards in terms of spec, etc. So I would love to be amazed, but
look this is what Leonard is saying to Keith. Do you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a new smart
sorry,
controller is another 750 US, and then the drone.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't
Yeah.
replace the smart controller
Well,
at the moment. But
okay, the smart controller runs OcuSync 2.0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
if you're
it's got
3.0,
very limited memory as it is.
it's
You
pretty
think
limited.
you're going to be able to switch platforms?
But is
No.
the OcuSync 3 is that really a completely revolutionary different product that they can't make the existing smart controller run it?
I don't know if it's backward, if it'll be backward compatible.
I
to 2.0
don't
or
know,
not.
but at the moment I'm not very impressed with it outside the US, because if you're not in FCC mode, it's not
Yes.
amazing.
Yes, I agree with that. I've had that feedback.
Yeah, it's I've had some really bad transmission issues here.
Well, you had issues with OcuSync 3 with the FPV drone last week, right? You were you were line of sight.
Yeah, I mean less than 1,000 feet, and this is out over the ocean. This isn't like there's anything in the way at all. FCC mode is a much stronger. I mean, surprisingly stronger. And I think there might be some issues. I've seen this with the Mavic Air. When the Mavic Air originally came out, FCC mode was absolutely fine, but anything else wasn't good. They did improve it with firmware upgrades, but it wasn't. When it very first came out, it was really weak. I don't know. OcuSync 3, I'm not that impressed with. But talking about Filmy, they brought out their sort of Osmo Pocket thing that they answered to, and technically that had a better camera. Well, there was some better features on it than the Osmo Pocket.
It did very well.
Yeah, it did have a much wider angle. And in many ways, arguably, it was a better product. It was cheaper as well. The production wasn't as good. The manufacturing production wasn't as good. So I don't know about these drones. I've seen them; they look interesting, but I think Sean is right. I think it's going to do something. There's something going to be wrong with it.
I remain open to it though, because it's like I had a Bugs 12 thing sent to me. Yeah, and it EIS hot and all this sort of tons of writing on the box. And I have to say, when I flew it, I tried to ignore the fact that I fly DJIs, and I tried to remember the fact that how cheap the drone was, and it was decent. It did take off. It hovered. It came back when I asked it to. It did take the footage that it promised on the box, etc. And so I still remain open to being surprised by the FEMI, but my expectations are relatively low, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, C-Fly still sucks.
Hey, Kai, welcome.
I will tell you straight up, man. I mean, this is what makes they updated the app again, and I'm like, well, how many times are you going to update the app if you're not going to talk to the damn drone itself? You're not if you're not going to update the firmware in the drone. I mean, it's like I was telling you earlier, Sean. It's a great camera on a shitty bird. I mean, it's an awesome.
You did say that earlier.
It's an awesome.
Reminds me of an
camera,
ex-girlfriend.
That's a butterface. Is that what you're talking about? Kinda.
No, I'm not elaborating any further.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Butterface.
And we will not go into the John Cuppi phenomenon either.
Butterface.
But I'm sorry.
That's an accusation.
Butterface actually confused me, so I ran for some kind of comedic routine.
All I remember is my buddy who had a Hubsan, I think it was a 501S or something, back when I got my Mavic Pro. And we were flying together, and his Hubsan, he was saying how great it was. The batteries went in like FPV. He had to like hand wire everything almost.
All right, first things first, let's go ahead and get into what does the Air 2S have and what do we not think it has? And speculate price and release date. Chuck, first. Okay, Chuck first, because I don't have any clue. And then I'm figuring that Keith and Sean have a better idea of what's going on than either of us do. So Chuck first.
I'm guessing it has at least a 1/2-inch sensor. I don't think that one, it doesn't look like a 1-inch sensor, because I was looking at it had the thing sitting on a keyboard.
Not seen the drone.
But they had a picture of it on the keyboard, and like,
that's not the drone. That's not the drone. That's not the
all
drone.
right, then it's a 1/2-inch sensor.
The only
It's
thing
not a
we've
1-inch
seen of the
sensor.
drone is the label,
Is the FCC tag? That's it.
which is cool because it's a proper label and it definitely confirms, and it has all the, you know, the size of the battery, etc., being the same as the Air 2, and you know, there's a lot of information that tells us that it is the real deal and it is what we're expecting. But yeah, no, we have not. I'm convinced that we have not seen the actual drone itself.
And we do know also that there had been some. Sean confirmed this. Is it? It's okay. I talk about this about the you. They thought that it was going to be more
About my
beneficial.
third nipple.
No. Oh well, really? You've got one too. You've got
Damn.
one too.
You said you'd keep that quiet.
but I've
Isn't
got
that a
one
James
too.
Bond character?
I have 3 nipples.
Oh, do you?
It's
That's
part of the
awesome.
club, man. Anyway, what the hell, man? I got sidetracked. Okay, Air 2S. You were talking about it being potentially a big seller in Europe for one reason, and you
Yes.
found out recently that that might not be so true.
CE?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, one thing that excited us is the fact that it has the UKCA C label on it, or logo on the label, which is the new CE marking for the UK now that we're out of
Right,
the EU,
yeah,
now
CE.
that we've left the Europe. Our drones are also going to be classed from C0 to C4, which will basically mean that depending on what qualification you hold, it will depend where you can fly those drones. But it will mean that if this is a C2 rated drone, we could fly within 5 meters of uninvolved people, which is awesome compared to the current UK regulations. And so if this has a C2 label, they could almost just release this in the EU and the UK, and it would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, I was just commenting on Kai. Kai, man. I know you got lots of balls and all, but I don't know if you got 3 of them. That could be a weakness. Wait. Actually, gentlemen, having 3 of those could be a weakness. That's just more vulnerable.
Did you see?
More
I was
to kick.
clicking. Did y'all notice I was clicking along, and then that one, I went to the next one, and then that one registered, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, so
Everything's bigger in
if it has the C2 label, it would sell like hotcakes across the EU and the UK. There's lots of people with the qualification ready to fly that thing, but I know fairly certainly it won't have the official label, but whether they'll be able to say that it conforms, so therefore get a different type of certification, I'm not sure. So it's going to be very interesting to see, because without it, no one's going to buy it in the UK, that's for sure. Because if it's not C labeled, we'll just keep our lovely Air 2s, and you know,
Exactly. I think that's what's going to end up happening.
It's got a
but
remote
that
ID
makes
and
me
it's not
think
going
they
off.
must know that. They must know that, and
Okay.
therefore, you know, they must know that we've only got until the end of 2022 to fly legacy drones, which is what this drone will be. So within you know, just over a year, it will be a paperweight in anywhere decent to fly, in anywhere decent space. So I'm not going to fly. I'm not going to buy another drone, because my Air 2 that I only bought when that came out is also going to be a paperweight at the end of 2022. So why am I going to keep buying paperweights?
And that's why I'm wondering about remote ID. If this thing doesn't have, if this Air 2S doesn't have remote ID, what the hell good is it to me? Because like I have
won't
stuff
have
that
that.
flies good for 2 years.
Okay, now I got somebody up early in the morning in Thailand, so let's get their opinion so he doesn't fall over and go.
He does look a little tired. Come on,
Let's
Keith.
Sorry,
Let's
no,
get
I'm
coffee,
good.
man.
Let's get
Brew
his
some
brain
coffee.
rolling here. All right, Keith, what do you think?
They're going to have to do something pretty compelling to make me want to go and buy this. But having said that, they kind of did that with the Mini 2. When you went from the Mini 1 to Mini 2, they put OcuSync and 4K on that thing, and there's your reason to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they can do with the Air 2. That's the thing, because the Air 2 is it's a fantastic drone. In fact, I mean, when I wasn't flying the FPV, I was flying that, and I was seriously impressed how well it did in the wind, and all the reasons that I had to keep my original Mavic 2 kind of went out the window over the last week, because it just performed so well. 300 sort of 360 sensors on it. It's nice, but it's not a compelling reason. I just don't know what they can do to make me want to buy this. I mean, if they make it compatible with remote ID and UK regs, Okay.
I think he needs coffee, Kai, not beer. Coffee.
It's too early in the morning for beer.
Yeah, coffee.
But I don't know what they can do with it.
Yeah. And it won't have a lot of the things that people are, and also from a straight business point of view, they can't make it too dramatically good because this is the Air 2. This isn't the Mavic 3 or whatever it's going to be called. So they've also got to keep that. It's interesting that they're using the S insignia this time, because obviously that's something a bit different. So perhaps they're going to show us actually they are Apple in disguise. And show us that we are going to keep getting refreshes. And next it'll be the Mini 2S because it's got a front sensor.
Advanced, the Mini, the Mini 2 Advanced and the Air 2 Advanced, and
well, it's essentially that could be what the S denotes. You never know.
Man,
So.
it's going to be STUVWXYZ. They're going to be like, "Bring it, bitches! Give me your wallet."
Yeah, I'm with Keith. I don't know what the hell they have up their sleeves, but 360 sensing won't do it for me either.
After y'all go out and buy this one, and y'all want to know how, I will come pay me, and I'll tell you, it's only $9.99 a week for DJI Freedom Therapy.
More intelligent flight modes?
No, you're not listening to me. I'm talking about. See, I'm a recovering fanboy. I didn't have to go out and buy every DJI product that they make now.
No,
so
I agree.
Once you all get to that point and you need help,
I can stop
to
anytime I want
save your
to.
marriage, I'm here. Only $9.99 a week.
Oh, yeah, I can stop anytime I want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly
good.
don't see what they can put on it. And I mean, it's the same with the Mavic 3, or based on DJI's current naming convention, the 3. I can't see what they're going to do on it that is going to make it that compelling, unless they really charge a hell of a lot of money for that one as well. So, it's.
Do we have a release date? I guess.
I would say in the next couple of weeks, because
I can't remember when the FCC listing said, because there is usually. I'll look that up whilst we're talking about other things. I'll check the FCC filing.
Okay, here, like you said,
it's
just basically
April 1st.
Thank you, sir.
April Fool's Day, how appropriate.
April 1st, man.
Take my money. I am a fool.
But wouldn't that be messed up if it was all an April Fool's joke? Somebody had just manufactured it.
It's an expensive one.
Probably April 2nd, right? Because they never do anything on a Monday. It's always like a Tuesday.
Yeah.
They're not going to put a 1-inch sensor on that thing, because then that's going to kill their sales.
Yeah, Kai, stop messing with me, man. Go fly your FPV into a water tower. Leave me alone.
Ooh, spicy.
I'm out of wine. Go get more wine.
So literally, what about a price? So we're figuring around 1st to the middle of April, around that period somewhere.
They can't put it up by more than $100. I mean, what was the Air 2? Because drones here are typically cheaper. So what was the Air 2 in the States? It was $999.
That was
Fly more. So yeah, wasn't it $799 for the drone?
Yeah,
I'd say
Fly more.
Based upon what they did with the Mini 2, it's probably going to be $100 to $150 more.
So we'll say $1,100.
I think $11.99. $11.99.
Oh, no,
yeah,
or $1,200 for a fly.
I think they'll put OcuSync 3 on it, which
and
would be great for you guys.
New controller.
Great for you guys at
and a new smart controller for another $500 on top of that. $499.
I'll be very, very annoyed if they do that. I've just got my smart controller and I love it.
But it is dated, Keith. I mean, you have to admit, I've had mine for 2.5 years, so it's like.
It depends. When you say it's dated,
it's tech. It came out 2 years ago.
Yes,
it came
but
out
it's still
2019.
better than flying with your phone. I mean, this is an iPhone 11, so this is a year old, and this thing dims after about 5 minutes of flying here, and you can't see the screen because of the heat. That smart controller just goes. And
I just got this private message, and he said, "Bitch, it's on."
What?
Oh my God, Bill, what are you doing now? What are you doing now?
John, you're below Sean. You can poke him. You go like this and poke him.
Oh, I can. I can get some good pokes in.
Wait a minute. Whoever paid? Wait a minute. John just sent me a check.
Oh, now Sean can poke you. See, now he can poke up. You can. Now you can get.
I'm not going to lower myself to that kind of thing.
Oh, you're
Rumors, rumors, and BS. That's
Well,
tonight's
okay.
subject,
Well,
right?
since you just got here, we've only briefly brushed what we could like. Everybody here on the panel is like, even with a refresh, what the hell could they possibly put on the 2S that's going to make you buy? OcuSync 3. That's the only thing that anybody could come up with. Maybe a half-inch sensor.
That ain't gonna do it for me. OcuSync 3 will not do it for me. OcuSync 2 gives me more range than my vision stinks. So OcuSync 2 is more than adequate for my crappy eyes.
What if it
Be
doesn't
line of
come
sight.
with a new controller, but it comes with a new smart controller package?
I don't want to spend another $750 on a new smart controller either.
I'm just telling you, what's going to happen if that, you
Yeah,
weren't going to
maybe.
buy an FPV drone, Chuck.
I know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's totally
we know,
true.
We know about DJI. They like people to spend money on the new stuff
Okay, so what do you
and
think?
hell with
John?
the old stuff.
What's the new drone possibly going to have? Or is it just a refresh? Or do you think that you agree with the theory that
What if
since
it
it's
has-
the 2S, it's just a refresh?
What if it has Skydio type 360-degree like fisheye sensors on it?
No, get real. That's
autonomy.
Mavic 3. That's Mavic
And
3.
autonomy
That's Mavic
and
3.
foldable.
That's Mavic 3.
You say
Hang
that
on, we're
now.
not there yet. Okay, so you're thinking they're going to put that on the smaller package. That's what you're speculating, Chuck.
Maybe, yeah, and then the Mavic 3 just has the exchangeable cameras that everybody wants.
Oh, what do we think?
Magnetic.
Oh, yeah, Chris is like,
Magnetic. Stick them on, pop them off. No tools.
magnetic.
You give them a little case like your Freewell filters, and you pop them off and put them on and
You
pop
drinking
them off
something
and
you drinking
take
something
my
besides
money.
wine, man.
take my money. You
Yeah,
bastard.
he usually drinks beer.
Well, now I think,
Wait, what's this?
as the great John Cuppi, I think it's going to have a 8K camera.
Double
And-
vision.
I think you're going to be able to fly it with the new FPV controller, and I think they're going to give you an FPV Air unit with it free of charge.
Ooh.
That's my prediction as John Cuppi.
Are they going to give you a new Cray supercomputer to edit all your
just
8K
crossed
footage,
into
or is that going to be
Total
extra?
drone bullshit.
DJI is not going to be doing FPV anything.
Total drone
Oh,
bullshit.
they're not. They're not pulling out the FPV market. They know that
at the end of
FPV
the
guys
show,
are not
let's
buying
not go-
this drone.
Let's not jump
Yeah,
the
they
Mavic
do
3 yet. Let's not jump the Mavic 3 yet. Calm down. We got that. That's gonna rile up some people anyway. Because we got one side saying, "Oh, Caddx has still got the license." Yeah, but they ain't got no damn chips. So anyway,
Nobody has chips. They can't even build pickup trucks.
Okay,
Chevrolet
anyway,
can't build.
all right,
I can't
so-
get a pickup truck because
so
Chevy can't
basically
get any chips.
there's nothing they could put on the Air 2S that would make us want to buy. Nobody, right?
Not me.
You put a 1-inch sensor on that thing. If they put the Mavic 2 Pro camera on that, yeah,
With
I would
better
buy it.
hardware. With better
Okay.
hardware, so it's not like
and now that
limited.
put a Hasselblad on the 2S.
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
Ooh, how about that?
But it
But I
better
don't
have
believe
better
that-
hardware
Holy
because
shit!
I don't believe they're doing that.
oh look, it's Ron. Hey Ron.
Okay,
Last
Ron, what do you
quarter.
think? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think the Mavic Air 2 Mavic, or excuse me, not Mavic, the Air
Getting
2S,
crowded in here.
what do you think that the Mavic, or I keep saying Mavic, the Air 2S will have on it that's going to make you want to purchase that new drone? Any speculation, Ron?
It's not my speculation, but the 1-inch sensor camera.
Okay, so that's and I like that, Keith. I really like the idea of seeing that big ass Hasselblad sensor.
Gonna have it. Not gonna happen, man.
No,
What?
I don't
Okay.
believe it will. But
They'll have
that
a
would be-
3/4.
You
They'll do a
got me ready
3/4
to
just
go
to
get
tease
the
us.
lube, man, and now you just leave me hanging.
3/4
All right.
to tease us.
So, but okay, so there's nothing. We can't come up with it. So you don't think they could actually put a 1-inch sensor on that small of a platform?
I
That we
think
already-
they can, but I think they won't because it will. If they do this,
Take
Then-
away from something else.
without going into too much speculation at this point about the Mavic 3, the Mavic 3 is going to have to be mind-blowingly awesome.
Better have an ionic
I'm
drive
saying-
on it, man.
It's probably going to have a
That's
flux
good.
capacitor in it. Yeah.
A flux capacitor and an ionic drive. Yeah. Then I'll buy it.
I can't see them doing it, but I tell you what, if they did do it, I'd be out there with my money. I have to admit, because I love the Air 2. I love the size of the thing. It's so easy to take around and fly with. It's just a fantastic little drone. So we'll see.
And of course, all of us who already own the Air 2, the current Air 2, a lot of us, we just sell the one we have now, and getting the 3 is just basically like an upgrade cost.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't buy the Air 2.
Hello, Capture Life's Connections. That's Stevie. I got to meet Stevie at the event on Saturday, and Stevie's a great guy.
So that's what everybody's saying. It's going to take. It doesn't necessarily have to be Hasselblad, but they need to take a
1-inch
larger sensor on an OcuSync 3 is what he's saying.
Yeah, Hasselblad's just the
but
name.
then you're going to slide. Okay, we got that. We figured out what it is. We got a price. We know when it's going to be released. We're figuring around the 1st to the 15th of April, Ron, is when the Air 2S is going to be released.
Well, you'll know the more Osita tweets, the closer it is to being here.
Well, because what was it you were talking about? The FCC drop was saying April 1st, right, Chris?
April Fool's Day. How
First,
perfect.
yeah, that's my goal.
April Fool's Day. So
April Fool's Day.
All right, so we got that. We got that figured out.
A fool and their money are soon parted.
We figured out a price. Now we need to jump on to the weird, whatever the hell that was on Drone XL render for the Mavic 3. Do we think it's real or do we call bullshit?
Can you pull it up?
Yeah, can you pull it up? Because I haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
I've seen it, but I think you should pull it up. I call bullshit on that thing.
I call BS on that. Backloading batteries in a drone that size.
Yeah. I don't buy it either.
I'm right here, man.
Okay, are you going to join the?
I'm John Cuppi too. Thank you.
Okay, I get that we got 2 John Cuppis, but I was just wondering if you're going to join the conversation about the Mavic 3 now or not.
Well, I'd rather be there as John Cuppi, but okay, hang on.
That's fine. You can be John Cuppi, but still talk to us about what the hell, what you think about it. Let me get over here and throw this up here.
Don't want to know what you think. He wants you on the record.
What we got there?
There's the supposed Mavic 3, right?
Yeah, it's sexy looking, isn't it? Look how sexy it is. It's
a great sketch, but
sexy.
Yeah, you know those drawings you get of someone will take a muscle car and they'll put those huge alloy wheels on it that fit under the arches that you could never actually fit on the car in real life.
That's the camera.
It looks like a cool drawing. That's what this drone looks like to me.
Yeah, the camera. How's it gonna move? How's the gimbal gonna let that camera move up and down? It can't. It's gonna bump into the
I know
bottom.
it's just a sketch and it's not like a technical sketch. But I don't know. I'm not suggesting that Drone XL didn't receive this and that it wasn't sent to them by someone, etc. But as Hayu will admit that sometimes sources can let us down. I don't think this is the Mavic 3. I honestly do not, or whatever that drone is going to be called. I honestly don't think it is. It's a nice drawing though.
Yes, it certainly is, and I
sexy.
totally agree. I don't think that it's going to be that either.
How's that camera going to move up and down with a gimbal, a 3-axis gimbal? Look at it. It's going to bump right into the...
I was wondering the same thing. It's a great question.
There's no clearance.
You're going to have to do it that way. Well, it's not just... Okay, so here's the deal.
Goes to Sean's point on the wheels on a car.
We've already put a 1-inch sensor and OcuSync 3 on the Air 2S. So what are we going to put on the Mavic 3 to make us pay $2,400?
I think they're going to go with interchangeable lenses. I don't know. Have you guys seen that Insta1 action camera where you can change out the different modules?
Yeah, it's modular.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I think they're going to go because I can't see
cameras.
Anywhere. Yeah, I can't see them going anywhere else. I just can't.
I don't see how they can do a magnetically attached camera that you can change like to the 8K, the 6K, 4K, whatever. Like,
I would love that. You know who first tried to do that? Autel. Autel tried to do that with their X-Star Premium, I think it was, something like that. Yeah. And then it never really ended up panning out.
I don't know why it can't work. I mean, my current Motorola phone is like 2 years old, and the first generation is like 3 years ago, and it has all magnetic mods for the back. They stick on like glue.
Are you saying
Show
the
the
old
camera.
Phantom sensor on the new Mavic 3?
Ooh,
Or just an updated
ooh,
sensor with the mechanical shutter?
mechanical shutter. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, a
Right,
mechanical
but-
shutter is going
Okay,
to
that's
be.
fantastic for pictures. Okay, go ahead. What were you going to say, Sean? Sean.
John Cuppi is no. I honestly think the whatever the Mavic 3 will be is going to be a sea change in drones from the point of view it's going to take the drone hobby in a slightly different direction.
Yeah.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? It's like
I believe
hot dogs are not going to be referred to as hot dogs anymore. They're good.
no. Well,
Hot wieners.
they won't be referred to as hot dogs if they're no longer long and meaty. Simple as. The concept of a consumer drone is going to go through a very big change in the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh yeah.
And therefore the type of people flying them is going to change dramatically as well.
I think we're going to get smaller drones
No,
that
they're
are
talking.
able, that are able to do more things. I would think.
Yeah, I think your Mini 10 is going to be a drone that you don't even really fly, that the drone itself knows the rules, and you open its little wings up, if it even has wings at that point, and you set it off into the sky. It will take off because it knows it can. It will get automatic lance approval to a certain height and that type of thing. You'll be able to tell it what you want it to capture, and it will go do it for
They
Wait a minute,
do need
how in the hell are you going to tell your drone what to capture? I don't.
They
know
need to
the
do
hell
what
I-
Apple. They need to do what Apple has done for smartphones. They need to do that to the drone to make it
ruin
so that,
them. And that is the criticism that the wider RC hobby has of DJI drones, is that they are just too simple to fly. Even people that owned the original Phantoms and things say that DJI drones now are simple. I think we're going to go through a revolution.
new up their sleeves battery tech wise.
Particularly $1 billion company, but yeah, they've gained funding to value the company at $1 billion. It's a slightly different
Hey, Bill.
Yeah,
recipe.
something killed the stream. I don't know what it is.
Stream's done.
What do you mean it's done? You killed us.
It's just us, bud.
It's John
Let's
Cuppi.
see.
That's
No.
so weird.
Oh, we're
It says
froze.
error occurred. No, yeah, it just died out. It was just us. But
Oh,
we're
I've
still.
got-
It's still.
I've got me looking up now.
It crapped
it's
out.
working.
Yeah.
I see it. I see. We're
It's
looking up.
working. It's working.
It's not working for me.
I'm watching it on YouTube. and
Oh,
I've
it's
just heard
working.
you
I see it
saying
now.
It's working.
It's back.
It's working
okay.
now.
That's bizarre.
It was a hiccup.
Everyone in the
Yeah,
chat,
that was,
how many
you know-
how many fingers?
One.
8? What?
One.
We
I'm not
we
going
got
to show
information.
DJI because we started
No, that-
talking
you
about
might- they
Skydio.
might- You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep
Yeah.
going. Keep going. Who
All
cares?
right. All right.
We're trying to figure out what we think about the what we think is going to be on
Mavic 3.
like a price and a release date. Yeah,
You guys
air
are
it out
right.
again.
Mavic 3 Fly More will be like, if they have some sexy new smart controller or two or something, it will be $2,000 easy.
More? I
You know,
think.
you know what's funny, John? Everybody else has had trouble like this, and it's the first time that it's hit us. Maybe we were just
Yeah,
due.
I know, right?
We were just due because it's aired out. But like I said, as long as it's hitting their server, I can still upload the recorded show later. But
It's working at the
So-
moment.
we're still saying that but like 2 seconds later it's going to quit. Interchangeable lenses,
split
longer flight time. We know how expensive it's going to be, but something tells me the interchangeable lenses and longer flight time on a base drone are not going to make you jump at $2,000. You're going to have to get 2 lenses like those kits that you got from Best Buy, right?
It's gonna need the
You get a
autonomy.
pony
I'm
with
telling you,
it.
it needs
Yes.
that. It needs that autonomy so I can get those freaking quick
Why?
shots and stuff
Why?
where it'll follow intelligent flight modes where it'll folloll me around.
It'll have,
and not
it'll
hit
have
things.
more.
It's
It'll
not
have
fun.
more modes, but you know what will happen? They'll release this Mavic 3, and it'll have all the things in the promo video. But when the drone comes
They'll get
out,
installed
no,
later.
no,
Yeah,
Yeah.
They'll come with firmware
available
updates.
available in a future firmware update. Which
Keith, you were
shows
talking about that in your FPV review today that you released.
Yeah, but that's what they do. That's
they
what
do.
DJI, and it's really annoying.
This is what I was afraid of. we put too much in the 2S already, and we can't think of anything to put in the Mavic Air 3 or the Mavic 3 or whatever it's going to be to make it worthy of what we're talking about at Costa.
That's my point. This is why I don't think they're going to put the hassle. I want them to put a Hasselblad in the Air 2. I'd buy it if they did that, but I don't think they are. I just don't see the 2S as a.
What about a 3/4 inch?
Update.
Is there a 3/4 inch sensor?
That's close to what the Air 2 is, isn't it?
Well, Bill, you saw the rumors.
That's a half inch.
I don't know all the letters, but there's a bigger quad bear sensor that's also a rumor that's going in the Air 2.
Yeah, the one from the Pocket 2,
larger quad
isn't it?
bear.
That's slightly bigger than a half. You're right. That's
okay. Yeah,
that would
so
make sense.
the Air
Pocket
2,
2
I had
sensor.
heard that the Pocket 2 sensor was going in the Air 2S.
That would make sense. It's a slightly bigger than a half-inch sensor.
But it will give you better low light performance, Chuck.
Yes, thank you guys for putting up with this weird situation went on. We still haven't talked about the juicy part of the night yet.
The Pocket.
I have a question on DJI. There's more of a one that perhaps we can discuss rather than trying to predict something that, I mean, we don't even know what the Air 2S is going to have. So who knows what the Mavic 3 or whatever it will call have. But the development process of DJI as a consumer product has to soon, in one of these big releases at some point, be majorly affected by the fact that they have that whole enterprise level now tap turned off in America. So they're no longer like, here's our Inspire 2, which is our Mercedes S-Class, and actually here's our Mavic 3, which is the C-Class, and it's got a lot of the spec of that, but a little bit watered down so you can afford it, but it still feels like an Inspire to fly. And at some point there's going to be a development halt and redirection towards the consumer market because they know they can't necessarily get to that. I've been told that the Inspire 3 is ready and was actually pulled from the release schedule. We could end up seeing it at the end of this year, early the following year.
Wow.
But yeah, I have to wonder if there's going to be some kind of development change to refocus their direction on the consumer and prosumer side of things.
Yep, you could be right. I mean, I know the US, and I'm not taking the mick here. I know the US is a big market for them, but is it their biggest market? I mean, they
enterprise wise, it was
around.
Big. It's a big marketplace, and it was I know with my channel, a couple of my co-hosts are professional flyers worldwide. They have drones which enterprise level drones that they fly all over the world, and the money these guys spend on a yearly basis is because it's not just buying the drone; it's because they're professional drones and they're being used for sensitive and potentially risky flights. They have to be maintained meticulously, like a little F1 car. Essentially, everything has to be replaced every so often. You get a tiny little bevel in something. Okay, that whole arm's got to be replaced, etc. So the money enterprise brings in overall is huge. It's a huge cash cow, and without that, I just wonder. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, but I just wonder whether we'll see a slight sea change. And I think perhaps the FPV drone could be the first product in that sea change because there is no sort of enterprise level nuance. Yes, I know a couple of people again who are professional drone companies who have bought the FPV drone, and they do have professional shots in mind that they're going to use it for, but it's much more of a consumer based product rather than there being an Inspire at the top of the tree and filtering down.
The FPV drone is very consumer based. You can tell that by the camera. The camera isn't that great. I think they're going to release a new camera module for that because to take that camera out, it's
we're going to see an FPV drone refresh constantly, and I think we could even see different models. We could see like, okay, this one's better at racing. This one will do this for you. Here's a CineWhoop FPV.
That's what I think is coming next, right there.
And you'll keep your goggles, you'll keep your controller, and you'll just buy the drone basically and add it to your FPV family
collection.
Yeah, well, that you've already proved that because they're already selling the drone by itself.
Separately. Yeah.
Well,
So
they say they're gonna. It's not in stock, but yeah, they say they have. it.
yeah,
It's like,
but the whole point is
730, I think.
But they've
you know,
released it that way to get the family tree
Yeah,
ready,
yeah.
basically.
Part
point.
of the reason the drone itself is not in stock yet is, as you've touched on it, is a worldwide silicon and chip shortage, and that's going to
Massive
continue.
crashes going on.
we're getting close, Chris. We've been talking about it all night. You got here just in time. Finally, it seems like we got the gerbils all in line. They're running the right way.
The gerbils.
Yeah, we're yeah, exactly. We're not spinning anymore.
John did the
We're not
same
going
thing.
this way. We're not going this. We're all going this way.
But I agree with Sean that DJI are going to have to go in a new direction or refocus their stuff.
Okay, so what about a new propulsion system?
Ooh, ionic drive, warp drive.
Well,
Well,
there are going to be jet-powered drones for the higher atmosphere in Mars and on the moon, of course. So perhaps we could see consumer versions of those.
Ooh, the
How
stealth
about-
drive.
Yeah.
Ducted fan. We'll make a ducted fan with a big ducted fan in the middle.
Did someone
And
say FEMI? Sorry, what now?
Me, yeah.
V-copter. Yeah, we'll put that one next to the V-copter in the
Well,
Hall
here's
of
the
Fame.
thing. Okay, so we built. We're going to say that it's got the not quite 3/4 inch sensor on the Air 2S. So we're going to put the Pocket 2 sensor on it. Slightly longer flight time. Is that really going to make us buy it?
It's going to be hard. I mean, DJI's got their work cut out for them. They really got us comfortable with the Mavic 2 series.
Well, not
We-
just
Yeah.
And the Air 2 is
Okay.
formidable as well. There's like you have two really great drone series out there that
Well,
it's going to be really hard to get them to get us to spend our money again.
Yeah, I
or
agree
they
with you.
give us a good deal on refresh. They say, okay, you sell us your Mavic Air or your Air 2 for da 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 da. But you know they're only going to offer us like $150.
Yeah,
You're not going to do that. You're going to sell it on like
anyway.
Mavic Pilots or something. That's where you're going to sell it. But
Yeah,
They can
exactly.
recycle those chips, man.
But it could be the clearest sign yet that the new prosumer drone. I don't want to keep calling it the Mavic 3, but that drone's coming out because, of course, one thing that people said with the Air 2 when it came out is that, oh, well, why would you now buy a Mavic 2? That settled down once people realized the differences between the drones and the differences between the cameras, and and actually the Mavic 2 is still a king of the sky in a few different ways. Perhaps the Air 2S is the Air 2 to kill the Mavic 2, ready for the Mavic 3 to be out. So
Maybe.
perhaps it will have enough to entice us Air 2 flyers and say, actually, I do want that because it does have a Hasselblad, it doesn't have this X, Y, Z. Who knows? But it has the same battery size, so power wise, it's not going to be anything particularly special from that point of view. So it has to be camera or certification for me, or maybe even both.
I love the footage from the Air 2s. When I compare it to my Mavic 2 Pro, I really like what I see footage wise from the Air 2.
It's
Even with a smaller
fantastic-
sensor.
It's a
I
fantastic
love
drone.
the pictures.
Yeah.
I love the pictures in my
And
Mavic
it's so
Pro.
much smaller. I've seen
I love the
comparison of
Mavic
the two
picture.
side by
The
side.
pictures.
Bill, you're right. The pictures you get out of it are they're way better than my Mavic 2 Zoom. Just miles ahead better.
Well, see, I even like taking pictures more with my Mavic 2 Pro than I do with my Air 2. I would much rather do now. As far as video, Air 2, yes, but as far as photos, 2 Pro all day long.
Yeah, but that's because of
Pro may be the best still camera drone, there is in the consumer side of things.
Yeah,
And I know we can't predict what they're going to put on there, as in we sit here and we say, well, what could they put on it to make us really want it? But they did it with the Mini 2 jump. That they before the Mini 2 came out, I myself would have said no, it's not time for a new one yet. And then when sure enough, they brought out a drone that I went out and bought. So.
Yeah, but Sean, I'll call you out a little bit that one. There was a lot of room for improvement in the Mini 1. I mean, there was a lot of room to make that Mini 2 better.
Yeah, more room than the Air 2, as I was saying. Yeah,
as it was in the Mini.
Yeah,
Well,
but to call you out back, I did actually prefix my statement by saying we don't know what they could add to the Air 2 that would make a significant difference. But they seem to know their marketplace. So if it doesn't have the Euro certification, and I know the EU and the UK isn't the biggest marketplace in the world for them, but if they didn't have that label, I can't see it selling. I could see it selling in almost, single figures almost. People just won't want that drone over here. If they do put the label on there, it would sell like absolute hotcakes.
Sean, I think the Air 2S to me is the more interesting release than the Mavic 3 because they're going to have to improve from the Air 2, but they can't improve too much to take the space of the supposed Mavic 3. So I think
but that's because I think the whole thing's going to shift up.
To me, more interesting.
But I think the whole thing's going to shift up. I think the Air 2S, whatever it does, will kill off the M2, ready for the M3 to come up, basically. And the M3, I think, will rewrite a lot of the things that we necessarily look for. And there'll be new words. There'll be new. It's like a new shampoo coming out. Where there's some new molecule or some new DNA shampoo that suddenly you have to have this, whether it's a real thing or not in that shampoo, who knows? So I think the M3 will be like that.
It's not necessarily going to be just like interchangeable lenses and stuff. It's going to be like a combination of a hyperlapse and a high-speed video or something.
Something. I think they're going to take the technology to another level. Whether that's some kind of chameleon action if it spots the FAA coming, or something like that.
Nice Klingon cloaking device.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Yeah, which is why the leaks are so few and far between, because you can't see it when it's being test flown.
That's awesome. I want a Klingon cloaking device on my drone right now.
All right. Well, okay. So we've really jumped around it. We've not really come up. When do we think it could possibly be released? That's the last thing.
The Air 2S April.
We've already got that one pinned down.
The Mavic 3 by the end of the year.
I'm going to say I'm
summer.
September.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm still not convinced we're going to see it this year. I'm just not.
I'm going to say September.
I'm not, but you could be right.
I would state
tried July with the Mavic 2.
This original T-shirt on that we would definitely see it this year, and I think it will be earlier in the year than a lot of people think it will be.
You think July, Sean? You think like the Mavic 2 was supposed to be July?
I think there is, for all sorts of different reasons. I think there is release tension built up at DJI, and I think they've got a lot of stuff on that shelf ready to fly off.
I'm sure
so it's like a 16-year-old going through puberty.
Yeah. I have other views as to why they're doing that, which are more controversial, and I have other views as to why things are happening the way they're happening. But I think we're going to see some real quick fire releases for the rest of this year.
Fair enough.
Sean, if there's a Mini 3 going to be released at the usual time in November, they will probably have to sandwich the Mavic 3 a couple months before that, and not have the releases fall in the same month.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Air 2S sort of April-ish time, and then summer you get the M3, then fall you get the Mini 3 for the Christmas market with a little front sensor.
Yeah.
What about an Inspire 3?
Well, the i3 is ready, but I was told that it was taken back off because of the enterprise issue in the States, basically, that it would have been a big old release to fund to not have that entire marketplace open to them. Whether they decide to end up releasing it because it's ready or not, who knows? I have no idea.
Do you think the US ban is going to stay? Because
yes, it's going to get worse.
You reckon?
Yeah, it will.
It's going to get far worse. There is no again, we're not going to talk general politics, but the general political situation towards China is
get your ass in here. Don't be talking shit in the damn.
It's getting worse. Yeah, come on, Nemo.
The situation between me and Nemo is getting worse. That's what's getting worse.
And that's what I'm telling you. Get your ass in here. Don't be talking shit.
I would describe this sort of Western China relationship as kind of like me and John Cuppi. We kind of know that we have to put up with each other, but at some point, someone's going to come out of a room with a bloody baseball bat, and we don't know which one that will be. So
that's an accurate way of describing it.
Yes,
that's exactly how I feel about it.
I would agree.
Yeah. It's completely right there. All right. Okay, we've got all the speculation out of the way for those devices. Now, it's time for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Well, excuse me, gentlemen. I don't guess there's any ladies watching tonight. We'll
Never
see.
know.
There's John Cuppi.
Are you ready? You
We're
see
ready.
it right there, and then you refresh, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. For your attention, DJI digital FPV system is no longer in production. For the latest in DJI technology, please view our product recommendations below. DJI FPV. DJI FPV is a groundbreaking, ready-to-fly FPV drone that lets users of any skill level feel the thrill of immersion flight. Features like an intuitive motion controller, 4K 60 frames per second video, 150-degree super wide field of view, 10-kilometer image transmission, and 28-millisecond low latency delivery. Deliver a truly unrivaled aerial experience. No, I'm not going to click buy more.
Can I
buy one, Bill? What are you waiting for, Bill? Just get one.
Can I pass a very quick comment on that? I know, sorry for I keep dominating, but you can tell I haven't been near the microphone much the last couple of weeks. I'm like a guy going down the gun range for the first time in a couple of months.
Like that 16-year-old at DJI that's ready to release.
Exactly. But could you imagine? Okay, whatever's happening, and no one really knows what's happening, but whatever's happening with the FPV Air units and Air 2 units and everything else like that, could you imagine a worse way to bleep off the entire FPV community that have slowly come around to your digital system by the screen when you want to go and buy the unit, telling you to go buy the FPV drone?
Exactly.
But that's not cool.
I wouldn't put it, but DJI, they're an Asian company, and I know how Asian companies work. Sometimes living here, they don't think that. But you look at they had a leaked document about the marketing and who was going to buy this FPV drone, and real FPV guys, they knew were not going to buy this. So them discontinuing this thing makes absolutely no sense unless they've got another one in.
Well, there is another theory on top of that. I agree with you. I think it's just someone who builds the website has messed up essentially, and actually it's the same as the Phantom 4 being killed off to only come back again. But there is another theory, of course, that if they are going to start releasing other types of FPV racers, that actually they want you to buy that ready to fly kit with the goggles, etc., which will have the Air 2 unit in there rather than selling it to you separately. And the entire FPV community were basically the beta testers for DJI's FPV future products. There's that argument as well, but I'm not saying which one I agree with, because I actually think the Air Unit 2 is coming personally. But
Curtis is saying did the Stoker? Yes, it started, and since Curtis is here, y'all check this out. Kelly was here last week. Have y'all gotten one of these or checked one of these out? Look at this.
Nice hat.
The Mav mount.
The Mav mount.
Yes, the Mav mount.
You get a commission on those things, Bill, or what?
No, I don't, man.
Every sale, no.
I think everyone that sells he gets like $1.50 or something.
No, I don't get a thing.
Every show he gets paid. Well, I'm not going to say what he gets paid for showing it on the show.
I don't.
There's something going on there.
Here's the deal. If a friend,
there's another.
Wait! Don't be smart.
Hang
Hang on a second. Don't be a smart ass. Hear me out here. If a friend hooks you up and says, "Hey, I'll get you one of these," and everybody knows that these are kind of expensive because they're really, really, really nicely made.
Gonna send me one free, Bill? Is that what you're saying?
He said if you just show it off on the show and use the shit out of it, and trust me, I do use the shit out of it, then I'll get you one. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Tell us more about how nicely made it is.
Yeah, it's the aluminium.
It has aircraft
made out of aircraft aluminium.
Look at that.
They have Sean and Keith going, yeah.
Is it the same aluminium from the 737 Max, or
it's not transparent though, like Star Trek 4. It's not
saying it's aircraft grade isn't necessarily the best thing in the world these days. I would much rather you say it's built like a BMW than built like a Boeing.
Might add their names to the list.
How can I get a Mav mount?
I want it to be transparent
I
aluminum.
want to get one.
That's what I
Yeah.
want.
Yes, exactly. Go, Scotty, go.
Can we have a
Go,
link,
Scotty,
please?
go. Did
Can we
you
have a
miss?
link?
Everybody
Oh,
missed
man.
that Star Trek reference, didn't they?
No, they got it.
Did anybody else catch that?
We're all nerds. They got it.
No, I don't think that Keith maybe caught up finally just now. when he realized
Engage.
It just rolled by. But when you said transparent,
Transparent aluminum.
Transparent aluminum.
But did he call it? He didn't call it.
Where
aluminum.
are your nuclear vessels?
Yes.
Star Trek 4. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
Alameda.
Geeks.
What's the so is okay? Like you said, so Sean's theory is that it could be that they're test driving. Just
It's not-
everybody, they're using us.
It's not
to
my
test drive
theory.
the vehicle.
It's not my theory. It's a theory.
Oh, it's not.
Please,
Wait.
please do not attach my name.
You won't give us more juicy theories, man. Oh, that's right. Anyone that wants more juicy theories, please go to geeksvana.com and sign up for your membership today.
I honestly don't.
Remember-
They know that even if they bring out a racer drone that's got carbon fiber, that you can tune the PIDs on it, you can do every possible thing you can do with your own home built drones. Those guys that like to build their own drones are still not going to buy these.
No,
So
absolutely.
they're targeting.
Absolutely.
They're targeting
I
us.
do
Keith.
not. I do not think they are going to pull out of the FPV market. I just, especially with what's going on in the enterprise thing. I think there's an AU2 unit round the corner. I think that they've stuffed up on the website, and I would stop panicking.
There is a third one,
Fly,
which I think I'd like to get Mr. Cuppi's opinion on. There is a third one that perhaps this has happened a little bit sooner than they wanted, so then the Air 2 unit isn't ready yet, because there is some form of chip in the Air unit, which is a US manufactured chip that they can't get hold of, that they haven't found a suitable Chinese or other world or other country replacement for. So in actual fact, there is a gap between the two things, and they just haven't handled it very well. Because, of course, they don't want to go on there and say, due to the entity list, we can no longer produce this anymore.
They'll never say that.
Or exactly what Sean is saying, and they figured out, okay, the new air units are going to use the same chip that we've got in the air unit. So if we're going to upgrade and maybe do some more stuff with firmware and stuff, we need to conserve the chips we got here and just stop doing that and go ahead and start building the new ones.
Yeah,
I think you're maybe onto something there, because
again,
DJI. Well, no, DJI operate on again in Asia. It's all about face saving, and DJI are very, very on that. They don't practice the same kind of customer skills as a US company where they go, yeah, okay, we screwed up. DJI will never do that.
No, their customer service is clearly
that is why. Again, dealing with companies like that in Thailand, it's very similar. It's all about face saving and things like that. And the fact that DJI have laid off most of their US workforce means that they're even more sort of Chinese centrified. It makes sense. But they know that the FPV guys are not going to buy their FPV drones.
Yes.
They know it because it's got DJI on it.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. But they will buy the air unit, because the air unit digital, and there is something to be said for digital.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50, and you could even find out that perhaps the air unit didn't sell in the numbers that they expected them to. They didn't have enough orders for them, and so they haven't developed it onto the Air 2. There's so many offshoots that this could go in that we will only know in a few months' time. And I think the Phantom 4 taught us that we need to sit and wait until our overlords of DJI deem to tell us what's going to happen with it. The only thing I think they're making an error on, and things like that, the comedic moment I had there saying about it's the worst product they could have put up there to buy instead, is that if you mess the FPV community around having very tentatively dipped a toe in the DJI marketplace, if they then mess that around and do crap on them from a great height, they won't get them back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's where I think they could be screwed. They'll bring out the 2 unit, the number 2 unit. It could be amazing, but there's going to be even more FPVers that are going to say, "Look what happened last time." We're not going to get into that. I'm sorry.
No.
Well, yeah.
I mean, everybody was saying no the first time. No. Fuck DJI. We're not going to do it. Fat shark,
Yes,
fat
yes,
shark,
but a
fat
lot of
shark.
the people that were saying no, and a lot of people that were able that slowly came around said, "What if they stop updating? What if they just leave us out in the cold? What if?" I heard that from a lot of my FPV
Yep.
audience.
What
And
if
even
Fat
even
Shark
now,
makes-
I was like
even
that.
now,
I
even
was
now,
one
a
of
lot
those
of my audience
people.
still, the FPV guys still say that,
What
and
if
it's a
Fat-
genuine concern.
What if Fat Shark makes a digital FPV system?
I mean, well, it's better to have a
I've had-
company that works slow. It's better to have a company that's working slowly towards something than hardware that just is a dead end, right? To the end of life.
If you're in an ecosystem that works, and you're in an ecosystem where you can go buy that product for a few dollars and replace every single part, etc., and even mix and match parts and that type of thing, you're in that ecosystem, and the DJI ecosystem is pulling you because, of course, it's that amazing digital transmission, etc. For the people that haven't made that move yet, I think this will make it even harder, because whatever happens, we're going to have a period of time now where no one will know anything, unless of course it drops tomorrow morning, and then I look like a complete fool tonight. But we're going to have a period of time where no one will know what's going on with that product, and I think that the longer that time is, the more of the FPV community that won't come back to the product. Personal opinion.
Well, here's something that we've danced around. Usually DJI will drop numerous links about a new product, especially like this 2S.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, every time leading up to now,
Yeah.
we've seen tons of pictures, stuff plenty of time before the release, and now we're speculating that it's going to be released.
I could tell you a story about that, actually. I could tell you a story about the links
then
and things.
the floor is yours, gentlemen, or sir.
I have noticed, and I have actually been. I'm compiling a video on it, actually, on where the leaks come from, and the leaks that I share on the channel aren't just sort of taken off Drone DJ or off this or off that, etc. I have people outside of the US, outside of the UK, in different marketplaces where they're able to get hold of things a little bit more easily, from the point of view that they won't have any kind of legal ramifications on them. So that's where I tend to get my leak stuff from, and because it's coming from regulars in countries like Brazil and other areas, that actually I can rely on it because they've been right 4 or 5 times previously. But what they're noticing is that where they're getting their leaks from is becoming much more direct, and it isn't taking the unearthing. And we're also now starting to notice that there is actually almost like a roll call of the leaks leading up to from the FCC. Then there'll be some kind of test picture of it being tested and some kind of blurry picture, all the way through to someone doing an unboxing, and then the retail photos will come out a week or so before the actual thing launches. So there seems to actually be a pattern building there, which it would be unusual if a company was genuinely trying to stop the leaks. It would be unusual for the same pattern to happen on several concurrent or consecutive releases. In my opinion, it would be very difficult for that to happen.
Okay, so you're speculating, or you're saying that this time around they're going to do it differently.
No, I think they'll do it the same, but I think it will be these leaks on the Air 2S in particular.
But it'll have to be greatly accelerated now, won't it? We've already gotten the FCC leak, and we're speculating that it's going to be released within a week and a half. So we're going to have to see a lot of shit in the next couple of days.
Is that the date on the label on that release on the FCC?
I think Chris was saying April 1st, but I don't know personally. You were going to look it up. Remember, we started talking. And
don't give me shit. Don't start on me.
I'm not
but yes, but my point is, I think there is starting to become a pattern to these.
I'm still trying to get my cookie from John for the night.
Your cookie?
I'm still, yeah, because if I correct you, no, you have to correct Sean, so it inadvertently gets John Cuppi a jab at Sean. So you get the.
What did John say about me now?
What?
He's being quiet. Maybe he's thinking something.
I'm
you guys connected?
Yeah.
Like
I'm just thinking
like
this
the
whole
force.
time.
They're using
What
the
should I
force to
do?
communicate.
Geeksvana?
What's going on?
Wait.
So
Hang on. Wait. I'm trying to. Okay, now we do this. I took a leak earlier. Thank you, Nemo. If you haven't, go check out Nemo's channel. He's got a great video called Poop Whooping, and he's literally on the toilet. He's literally on the toilet while he's flying, and he even lets you see.
You know what I was doing today? Speaking of whooping, I I was trying to fly my whoop down into a basketball hoop. It didn't go so well.
Video of this? I want to see this fail.
Well, I made it top down,
Hey,
but
we've
I did
already-
not
yeah.
make it trying to do a
We
dunk.
were talking about that earlier. We agree with you 100%. We already talked about what we think the Air 2S
yeah.
is going to have. We talked about what the Mavic 3 is going to have. And now we just got done talking about what we think is going on with the FPV. And now we're kind of in that coast mode where everybody's throwing out all their drone bullshit now.
It's all bullshit.
No, I haven't talked about the FPV yet, really.
Okay, go for it, man.
So, this is kind of weird for this to happen today, because if we forget about the fact that message was put up, we've already seen some signs that were not good leading up to what just came up here. And one of the things that DJI did when that new FPV drone was released, they had a group on Facebook called the Official DJI FPV Digital Owners Group. And anyone who has been in that group for the past 2 years joined it for a reason. They joined it because they wanted they wanted the digital system. It was all about the digital system. It's funny that you guys are talking about that marketing leak, right? Where they supposedly understood that this system was not going to be for people who were the self-builders. And they knew that, right? From what you guys are saying? Because I didn't catch that leak. I didn't get a chance to see that leak.
Correct. Yes. Sorry, John. I won't leave you hanging like everyone else. Yes, you're correct.
No, yeah, I'm just like, I'm trying to ask a question. I'm like, well, what's going on?
Myself.
What are you talking about? I was froze for a second.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, anyway, so the day the FPV drone came out, it was like, all right, we're going to tear down the whole group. You FPV digital system guys, you don't exist anymore. And what I mean by that is, like, it literally looks, if you go there, like we don't exist. They changed the banner to the FPV drone. They changed it. They put the FPV goggles. They made that group all about the FPV drone. And it was just like, what are you doing? And now we got people in the group like me and everyone else who uses the system, and all these new DJI FPV drone flyers are coming in there asking questions. It was really a disaster, honestly. It is social media 101. You don't do what they did. They are literally clueless doing that. I don't know why they couldn't just make a new group for the FPV drone.
But this is the thing about them being a Chinese company and getting rid of a lot of their US forces, and the guys commenting saying that that guy, big guy that left a while back, and he commented about the culture of the company. This is what they do. It's a cultural thing, and it's hard to explain. Having lived in Asia,
give me a split second pause, gentlemen, for just a split second. Ron is extremely tired. I'm going to let Ron say his good evenings real quick and go take a nap.
What?
Hey, I sorry guys, I was in the sun a little bit too much in Florida today, and I'm my eyes are getting heavier and heavier. So I'm going to run. It was great being on the show tonight. I learned a lot from you guys. You got a lot of great information, rumors and leaks, and it's going to be a good time in this year with all these drones coming out. And and maybe you talked about the Feed Me Mini before I got in the show. So there's a lot coming up. So it's going to be interesting over the next couple months. So thanks everybody in the chat for being here tonight, supporting this great panel tonight, and for everybody in the panel. Sorry for my abrupt exit, but I will see you soon. Good night from sunny Florida.
Take care,
Ron.
Hi, Ron.
good night, Ron.
Cool. All right. Sorry, gentlemen. He'd already sent a message in private, and I can see him over there going, one of these.
I see.
I was
He was
like,
going to fall over there.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm going to let Ron get out of here, So you all continue on your
Yeah, but talking about the Chinese like I've dealt with all sorts of Chinese vendors, and I understand like what you mean by like it's just this cultural thing with the way they choose to do certain things, and just dealing with them on that level. I've just been a little bewildered about what they think is a good idea, when in actuality it's like, oh, that's not such a good idea, right? They just don't get it. Like somebody at DJI working there must have been like, Oh, well, why would we make a new group when thousands of people are already in this group? Let's just use what we have.
That's my point. They are not.
And they don't think that through for some reason.
No, but they are not aware of other cultures.
Right, they're not aware of it.
Because it's going to say I'm calling them racist, which I'm not. It's just living
racist.
It's hard to explain.
Without sounding racist or getting canceled. Yeah. Right. We don't want to get canceled. We don't want to get canceled here on Drone Therapy.
I mean,
but
because living here.
I think a lot of it comes down to the language barrier.
It's similar to the difference between if I walked up to someone on a British high street and said certain things, they would punch me in the face. Whereas if they did that in Texas, they'd shoot me in the face. So it's cultural differences, and those cultural differences infect into their marketing, basically.
Wow!
Step in that pot.
How many people from Texas do we have watching this stream right now? That
Kai was on. I don't know if anybody else from Texas is on.
Well, Texas, but Chris is here.
Chris is a Southern boy.
Chris is here.
I was just gonna say, Chris is watching. TX Stars Drone Guys watching. Sunrise Waters.
Right.
We got everyone here. Wow.
I close my eyes and I hear Chris driving like NASCAR.
Oh wow! Sean wants me to leave
NASCAR.
Does Sean just want the floor? Is that it? Does Sean just want the whole floor to himself?
Maybe.
Hey, it's my show and I'm not bitching.
He's saying he wants me to leave next. He's put that in the chat, Bill. Look.
Oh,
he's asking if I can leave next.
What the hell, man?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he wants me to leave next. He just wants the whole floor to himself.
It was just a joke, man. It was something for all of us to laugh in the background. Didn't you see me laugh and just put my head down and didn't say anything? You know, I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you bring it up now, I guess it just lets you all know that, wait a minute, there's another one. We have a little private chat everybody knows in the background. Oh, okay, it's not a joke. So anyway, so where are we at? We were still talking about, we got past what we think with the Mavic 3 and everything. We still really didn't establish what we think is going to be on it, like to call all that price, the interchangeable lenses. And we do think that it's going to come out possibly sometime during the summer. Could be June, July, August, September, maybe even October. But we think that it should come out before the Mavic Mini, which for sure is going to come out late to middle November into early December.
That's a pretty long date range for all that stuff.
Yes, but like we were explaining earlier,
what if the Mini 2 stays?
Is like a pre-pubescent teen who is just about to hit puberty, and they've got all this stuff on the shelf that's ready to be unloaded all at once. And they just found Grandpa's old stacks of Playboys, I guess.
Nice. Classics.
What do I do with
the answer is it'll all be 2-year-old tech inside of it because they buy low from their suppliers. Interesting.
What if DJI doesn't change the 2? What if the Mini 2 just becomes available with the smart controller for Christmas this year?
Well, that's a good point he's making right here.
It'll have a sensor as well, won't it? Because Billy Carl tweeted that.
What?
It'll have a bigger sensor?
He tweeted when the Mini 2 first came out, about a week after, that somebody had told him that the front LED light was supposed to be a sensor.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like
and it wasn't ready, so and they basically told him that so therefore it will be on the Mini 3, and it's why the Mini 2 is so light, basically.
Okay, so we already know there's part of the selling point of the Mini 3.
Point.
It's going to have obstacle avoidance.
Yeah,
that's which is gonna, and if they just
it'll have
slap another $50 on it, people we'll be all over that shit. Okay,
and OcuSync 3, of course. You know?
Exactly. So what are you gonna do? Yeah. Okay, then you just pissed all over the Air 2S.
But it's interesting that we can make sense even of the Mini 3, but we still can't quite make sense yet of the Air 2S. So they've got us guessing with that drone.
Yeah,
I don't see where its part is in the whole.
Yeah,
I don't see where it fits in their market.
But Sean could be right. It could just be that it's going to be, compliant with all the new regulations.
Maybe because the Air 2 is only like
a year old.
So there you go, right there. There's your big one right there. We set chips, and chips.
Chipageddon.
Because the thing about it is like I said, is obviously DJI is not the only company that wants these chips. And the thing about it is DJI's got a deep pocket.
Yeah, but don't
And then-
forget,
and then
anything
you've got a
American
smaller
chip, they
amount of
can't
chips.
touch. They are
Yeah,
not allowed to
exactly.
touch any of the new camera tech. Anything from Ambarella, they can't touch. Anything from, just name it. Think of any American company that creates semiconductors. They can't touch any of that now. So it's interesting to see how that might set them back.
Yeah.
Well, that's added another thing. How are they going to come up with something innovative and high tech, just like Hot Rod was pointing out, with gear that's 2 years old?
The
Okay,
Mavic 2
here's something.
Advanced.
Here's something.
Here comes the Mavic 2 Advanced.
Where's that battery tech coming from? Is that coming from any U.S. company, or is it all Chinese?
It depends. It depends who's first. It could even come from a British company. Actually, there's a couple of British companies that are testing.
Britain's not happy with China either, are they?
They own about 20% of our country, so we don't really have much choice. But we are sending warships to be on
They own
station.
about 80% of the U.S.
It's like they're one of our biggest shareholders, yet we're sending warships to go watch them, which is like a real sort of strange setup.
I was pretty sure some of the components in the batteries, maybe if it's the Mini 1, I can't remember. Something from Texas Instruments they use in there. I can't remember now.
So
he's
that's
shaking his head.
else. The battery tech itself may knock them in the head too. So in order to be innovative, like you said, what's confusing me is if, like Sean's saying, this stuff's ready to go. If you're scared that you don't know what you're going to be making in 8 to 10 months because you don't know what you're going to be making with chips and stuff, then I'd be putting shit out the door now.
Yeah, and you would also be advertising for jobs for people to come work in your car automation side of things, which obviously they're doing as well. So there's a lot of interesting noises coming out of Szechuan right now. So
DJI might not stay in drones for it.
What?
So they're going to pull a Skydio on us, man. They're gonna leave us hanging. That's what they're gonna evolve. They're gonna evolve.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. DJI to be out of the drone market within the next 2 to 3 years.
Damn.
And completely AI.
2 to 3 years.
2 or 3 years.
And they'll sell it off to somebody else though. Then they'll sell
the opinions
it
of
off.
individual members on the panel do not reflect everyone's opinion.
Exactly.
On the panel.
Including the crazy guy in the center.
Bottom center.
Oh man.
Upper left.
I knew he was going to do that. I can't get
Yeah,
the screenshot of him quick enough.
He's shifty.
I mean, there's so much going on in the world right now. So much is changing. It really is just wild times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's all John Cuppi's fault.
I feel like I'm playing checkers.
I mean, oh man.
Okay,
What,
so
what am I supposed to say when he does this shit? What am I supposed
Nothing,
to say?
man. Don't have to say anything. Just
it's like,
Just
wait a
don't
minute,
egg it
wait a
on,
minute.
man.
It's like musical
Right.
chairs, man. The music just stops. Sit down.
right. Just don't even feed him.
But the thing
don't
here's
feed the bear.
Don't
Here's
feed the
what's
bear.
even crazier. I think I'm more confused now than when we started because I'm like, okay, we figured out with
That's
the only
rumors.
thing we
Yeah, we're just
figured out.
guessing.
No,
These are all
we pretty much nailed down the Mavic, the Mini 3. I about bet you we have. So it's going to have OcuSync 3.
Right, you're confident.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, he's right.
It makes sense.
He's right about the Mini 3.
But the thing about it
Mini
is, like,
three-
and like
the Mini
Sean's
3,
saying,
yeah.
the only reason, and here's the thing, the only reason that Sean is more sure of the Mavic 3 than we are is because he spoke to people that have given him information as to what that drone may have. But the thing about it is
Aliens?
if he didn't,
Next
if he
to
didn't
that,
have that
aliens.
info, well, he would be
Must
just
be
as
aliens.
hard strapped as we are. Because
Can I
they're-
just recommend that no one has an off-air conversation with Bill from Coast to Coast?
Oh, whoa.
what the hell is that supposed to mean? I said off air. I said I don't know what I missed here. What you talking?
What do you mean?
Private jet.
There, backstage.
But no, I'm
I-
trying to think
Bill.
what I might have said because he's even implied that he has connections that he might have
Not
seen.
not all information is intended. I'm only winding you up though. I don't mind.
I'm trying to figure out what. Okay, just put it in the private message so I'll know what I did wrong.
You did nothing wrong. You're an amazing guy.
You're absolutely
No,
amazing.
but the thing about it is hey, here's the thing. I'll just,
You're right
I put
there on my list. Right,
I put
you're
my
right up
foot
there
in
at
my
the top of
mouth
my list
often.
next
I'm
to
just
John
trying to figure out which shoot I need to eat first.
Somebody
Anyway.
translate the British into English for me because I.
After nearly a year, Chuck, come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What the hell's that? See,
Taking
y'all
the
just
piss, man.
confusing me.
Taking the
If I've had
piss.
too many, I'm just trying to figure out he's like, off-air conversation. I'm like, what did I say that you haven't already said? I'm like, wait a minute. Because
No, I think
think
we.
Go ahead, Keith.
We all know a few people by now that have probably already got the Air 2S and are testing it and have all signed non-disclosure
NDA or whatever. Yeah.
NDAs. So I think the Air 2 is the Air 2 is.
Well, we figured that part. But what I'm trying to say is, here's the thing: like we've all admitted that we're guessing. And Sean has already told us that he has people in other countries. He has people
for the leaks. Yes, absolutely.
And so the whole point is the leaks and the information that is out there has basically said, okay, you have an idea of what to chew on with the Mavic 3, and we've seen a leak. We've seen a leak from another company that he has already shot down pretty damn hard. Yeah. Well, the only way you can really shoot something down is if you've got information telling you that, no, that's not it at all. So that was done earlier in the show. I had nothing to do with that.
Here's my photo.
So I'm just saying, I'm like, what? Wait a minute. But so what I'm trying to say is the rest of us have been trying to guess and stab, and we've logically come to the conclusion of what the Mini 3 is going to have. Yeah, but we are very hard strapped to come up with any inkling of an idea of what's going to be on the Air 2S and what's going to be on the Mavic or whatever 3.
The Mavic 3 is going to have interchangeable cameras that are toolless. It's going to have to.
Yeah.
Bill, put up my reaction to the news this morning.
Okay, wait a minute. Oh yes.
I'm out.
Yeah.
That was me this morning.
Nice. Look at that.
There it is, folks. You saw it here.
There you go. That was how I felt this morning.
I sent
Rest in peace.
I sent that to Billy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he thought that was hilarious. He thought that was hilarious.
John, I honestly don't see them pulling out the market. I genuinely don't. I think this is their usual suckiness at communicating with their customers. They don't communicate with their customers.
There's going to be an Air. There's going to be an Air 2 module.
I hope so.
I'm willing to bet on it. I really am, because
they're going to take the brains from this FPV drone and sell it to fit into any.
There was a leaked document that somebody posted up that showed the DJI who was going to buy this, right? And it wasn't the real FPV guys. They were like 2% who were actually going to buy this.
Here's something. Look at this. Is nice to chew on.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
I was waiting on somebody to go 6G Wi-Fi. What?
I don't even know what. Yeah, that's interesting. There's going to be 6 gigahertz band Wi-Fi. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
They'll also have problems with the Bluetooth side of things, which could impact their remote ID stuff.
Oof, yeah. That's what we were
think
talking about that earlier in the chat. We were talking about that earlier in the chat, that like the thing that would kill my use of the Mavic Air 2. I'm pretty happy with my Air 2. I mean, I love the thing. Yep. If they released a new one and it was significantly more expensive or whatever, that 2S and all that, I probably would not go for it. The Air 2 is such a good value for the price point, but I am sitting here thinking about how legally, to be able to fly it, it may be a ticking time
bomb.
Yeah, I don't want to use bomb and drone together.
How do you mean?
But, hopefully I'll be able to maybe attach a module or something to it. But
you're talking about to have remote ID?
Where's the kaboom?
Well, like you were saying, you don't want a paperweight, and it looks like
no, you don't want a paperweight, and we see now everything is going 250 grams. Like 250 gram this, 250 gram that. That's what I'm seeing all over the place right now, and What?
Private chat.
Oh,
Everybody goes. Sean's on a roll in private chat tonight, folks. In case you haven't realized it, he's really on a roll. Watch everybody's going click, 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 click.
I guess what still bothers me though about all this DJI FPV, not in production crap, is that we've just been seeing some not so good signs in terms of what that. Oh my goodness, we have a wacky private chat going on here.
If you see us all get these goofy looks on her face. Oh, sorry, folks, but yeah. To get back,
for example, the goggles. Here's the thing: DJI was really on the ball with listening to people in the FPV community, actively developing those FPV goggles. I mean, they were always adding new stuff. When they first released it, it was a little hinky, but they got it done. They got a lot of work done. And then in July, we were given the best gift ever: double the bit rate. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. We went from 25 megabits to 50 megabits of video, and that was just absolutely amazing. And they fixed a whole bunch of bugs, issues. They really gave us a hell of a Christmas and July present there. And then since that time, we've had nothing in terms of updates. They've not put out anything. Granted, if we had COVID-19 and everything else going on, but it's been radio silence in terms of any kind of development on the FPV system side. And it works pretty well. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it, but there are certain small issues, small little bugs that I would love to see an update for. And they could do it. They could do it in probably 5 seconds, some of these changes. But I'm sure they're just all being rolled together in some big update that may or may not ever come out. It's just strange. It's just strange how we saw a great development cycle and then things got really quiet.
They're useless at communicating with their customers. They always have been, and that's the problem with them. My biggest single gripe with DJI is their customer service sucks.
Always has.
And their communication
sucks like a hotel
skills,
wife.
Always has. The customer service.
All right, yes, it does.
Yeah, but if what again, that plays into the communication thing.
What's it gonna be?
You keep mentioning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I just here's another wacky thing too, right? The V2 goggles.
Mega made.
The V2 goggles were apparently not worked on by the same team that did the FPV system, and in fact, the two systems within the goggles are so separate that it's almost like, I guess the best way I could put it is, it's almost like a dual boot setup. Like, there's the operating system side that has the FPV drone, and then there's the other side of the operating system that has the FPV system. Like, you literally boot into whichever one you're going to use. It's just, there's big time separation. And apparently, there was also big separation of teams as well there. So it's not like, the FPV team that they had was working on this drone. I kind of wonder, what are they doing now if that's the case? I mean, that's what I heard.
Maybe that bill vanished.
Yeah.
Can I just ask the chat a very quick question? Scott, you work for Comcast, and we're talking about the 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi. I'd be interested from someone in the industry, because it's obviously a higher frequency and therefore it's weaker but transfers more data. Do you think the weaker signal will affect its use in drones, or do you, as someone in that industry, do you think that it will still stand up and actually, because there's less being used on that frequency, it will still be good for drones? I'd be interested to know that if you can let me know.
Very cool, very cool. And boy,
I wonder about that. Kind of that fine line between transmission distance and quality of signal.
Yeah, because
right?
I know the 6 has more capacity for data.
Yeah, but it's higher frequency.
So it's weaker, of course. So
it doesn't transmit as well, kind of like the old school AM/FM deal, where
exactly. Yeah.
I can answer. Go ahead. I was going to answer Mr. J's question.
Answer.
I swear. Oh, did we get? Oh, there we are. We got a bunch of new stuff because I was looking over here at the other page. We got some new chat that came in.
It's about noise.
Co-op. So what
He's
doesn't
saying
work?
coop.
with goggles?
What doesn't work about the goggles? So
Co-op. You say co-op.
coop. Coop.
Yeah, but it's that's cool.
You can call me that. That's cool with me.
Okay. Sorry.
I mean, look. Here's some of the stuff I would like to see updated in the goggles. Really simple stuff. We can't get warnings in Betaflight like low battery, crash flip. We can't get simple text warnings because with DJI they have to do something special to send those text warnings to the on-screen display. For some reason, we just don't have them with DJI FPV. I don't know why, but I would love to get warnings. Other flight controller firmwares have actually added a hack to swap the aircraft name for the warnings to get around this. Nobody should have to be doing that. DJI should just add it in for us. And there's a whole bunch of other little missing on-screen display elements that really could be added. Really, Crossfire, our LQ for our link quality. We really could use that on DJI. I know there's a hack, there's a workaround to get it through the RSSI crap. We should need to do that. Another thing too, I realize I guess they're giving up on the air units. It would have been nice if they could fix the air unit recording issues. It's always been a problem. I know they've tried to fix it multiple times, but sometimes you'll get recording from the air unit and sometimes you won't. Like it'll just stop. It'll just say SD card recording error. And, I guess it looks like to me they're never going to fix it. They've just said, it looks like they're just never going to fix it. So we were all hoping that they would have fixed it.
It's in the house.
Ed! Love my drones. What's going on, man? So I don't even depend on the air unit to record anything on board anymore. In fact, I just run it without it, which goes into, I'm actually not that upset that they discontinued the air unit. I'm really not, because the recording was hit or miss anyway, and you couldn't really do much with it. I mean, it was nice, but it's unstabilized video. It's not really high quality. It's just nice to share to Facebook. The goggle DVR is good enough, though, to share to Facebook, though. And to not have to deal with the large size of the air unit. Plus, the other thing is, the air unit doesn't have a wide voltage range of input. Okay, like we fly 4-cell and 6-cell, 4S, 6S quads. You can't do that with the air unit. The air unit will only take 4S. The Vista takes 6S. The Vista is lighter. The Vista is just better in a lot of ways. I like the air unit, though, because the air unit's a tank, but it's also literally a tank. So I'm not that upset that they got rid of it. But my problem is that... but my problem is, does this mean that, okay, they're just going to say, yeah, CADX can make this, and we're not going to worry about this. We're not going to be focusing our time, effort, and energy into it, and, CADX can do it. CADX can't add software to the goggles. CADX is not going to be sitting there adding these elements that we need to the OSD. They're not going to be doing all that stuff.
Here's the thing. So they're going to keep making the version 1 goggles, but the version 2 goggles work with the CADX system, right?
Yeah, the version 1 goggles and version 2 work with CADX. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you'll have to basically, you'd need to buy the new goggles. Okay, so that's cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, version 1 and version 2 both work with the CADX Vista and the old air units, unless they kept the backwards compatibility. But my thing is, that's great. Okay, CADX has a license to make new units and keep us going. Plus the camera too. We've got the new Nebula Pro. That looks great. I got to see the Nebula Pro, and honestly, I can't tell the difference between the DJI camera and the Nebula Pro. And you save a few grams, so that's great.
720p at 120.
Yeah, I can't tell. CADX did release a camera at first, and it was horrible. It was horrible. But the Nebula Pro seems to have addressed that. I honestly can't tell the difference between that and the DJI camera. Maybe some of the way the light adjustments here and there are a little different, but overall, it's fine. So, And if DJI wants to expand the third-party companies who will get a license to develop the hardware for it, I think that's great too. Some of these companies, in a way, seem to know better what this sector wants, what people in FPV want. Obviously, because look at what Caddx created. I don't know.
But
Well, what do y'all think?
I
don't know. It's getting about that time.
I just can't see them pulling out. I think they're going
I hope
to
not.
surprise you. I think they're going to surprise you with the V2 goggles are compatible with both the FPV drone and the air units.
Mm-hmm.
That tends to make me think that they have intentions to continue supporting the sort of FPV hobbyist market. In some form or another. The controller, okay, the controller, which I do love because it's like a gaming pad, is geared purely for that drone. But I think in the next few months you're going to see them release a controller that looks a bit like that's got the flicky switches for your FPV, your normal FPV thing. I love this controller. I have to, you can criticize the drone, and I get that criticism, but this just feels familiar.
I'm beginning to think the more that we've all talked about this, that it's a logistics thing, and like Sean was saying, that DJI has the new units ready to go, and they've gotten to a point where they've said, okay, we've either got to stop doing this, or we're not going to be able to make the new product. Period. And it, like we're saying, it's not quite cooked yet. So they had to go ahead and say, look, we're not going to have any more of this until this one's done cooking, and that's where we're at. And until
stuff was never cooked completely. It's always kind of
al
dente when it's released.
I think
al dente, is that the word I'm looking for?
I think this is more like it's not even formed really good yet. So but like he's saying, it's close, but it's not close enough to start leaking, especially when you've got this other stuff that you want to put out before it.
Yeah, I mean, and I tell you what, to do this today, what a disaster they made when it comes to keeping trust with the FPV community. They really screwed that up big time today. And what you saw when I was talking to Nemo, I'm like, yeah, Nemo, I guess you're right. They screwed us. I feel like they screwed us. We've got the DJI side fighting with the FPV side. The traditional FPV guys who are analog, they're like, see, we were right. They screwed you over. And it's funny. I was flying today. One of my friends he's just got the basic Ishin goggles, and he was really thinking of getting the DJI goggles to do what I do.
You see what Corey said?
Cooking right now. Get a fan on it.
Look. No, he said it's updating too.
It's cooking. I know. Yeah, it cooks. The Vista gets really hot. Yeah, the Vista gets really hot. But yeah, I mean, like now my friend is on the fence because he's like, well, I was really thinking of going DJI, and now after seeing this today, do I want to invest in the system when I'm just not sure about it? And that's terrible.
That is. It's foolish on their part, marketing wise.
It really scred that up big time.
Yeah, but there's an arrogance. There's an arrogance there with DJI because they are the king of the industry that they're in at the moment. They are, and whether we like it or not. And I think there is an arrogance there as well that allows them to get away with this. I
maybe in other places, but not in the FPV sector. That in fact, it was tough for them to work their way up to even get respect.
You say that, John, but everybody when they brought their stuff out said, "Oh, we're not going to go with it. We're not going to go with it." Then they saw how good digital was for certain areas. I know it's not great for racing and things like that. They'll bring out an air unit now that people are invested in it. People are not going to go. Are you going to really go back to analog now that you've experienced digital? Can you go back to analog and be satisfied with that?
One quick side note, Chris want to tell everybody thank you very much. His Wi-Fi ran out. You'll see everybody next time around, maybe. So cool.
I mean, I can't see I know the FPV community were dead against DJI, but they they sort of embraced it. There's no other analog digital system out there.
There's nothing that compares to it. That's exactly what I'm saying. And we were all saying this earlier, and I tend to agree with what Keith's saying. DJI's digital system is so far ahead of everything else that even when they throw out the next Air unit, no matter how pissed off the FPV community is,
They're gonna buy
it's
it.
going to be so mind blowing and such a good signal. Have pretty good range and everything again, and people.
You guys are optimistic. I think you guys are very
Man,
optimistic.
It'll be here by summer.
Everybody swore up and down they would never jump before.
Yep.
It'll be here by summer.
You have an okay interest from the DJI community in this digital system, and you have sales that are slowly starting to fall off because people are finding its limitations and the Vista, everything else like that, etc. There's other things happening, and DJI know of a awesome digital system that's around the corner that's about to come out from somebody else.
Oh,
Maybe so.
That's a fifth dimension to add
yeah,
to this.
Exactly, and they're just bailing out before they get slapped.
Yeah,
and they can save face that way too.
They can save face, but also they're thinking, it's kind of like when you've got a car that a manufacturer's producing, and it's got 15-20% of the market. People really like it for a couple of reasons, but actually someone else that community of car buyers really likes is about to bring out a car that does that even better. Then you're not going to refresh that model. You'll
is that basically because I mean the one that I was thinking was Fat Shark, but their digital system is way behind the.
I don't know who, and I'm not saying it is the situation. I'm just saying there are at least 5 possibilities of and then each of those possibilities have little branches coming off them as well. There's so many things that can be happening.
Yeah, Orca's working on one too. Yeah, Corey Mano brought that up. Orca's working on one. Fat Shark, they continue to work on theirs. But yeah, maybe there is somebody in the background that's going to come out with something.
Orca's the one like that Mike uses, isn't it? You know what Mike uses?
Mike who?
Night Train FPV.
Oh yeah, I think he has a set of Orca goggles. Yeah,
and they're expensive, but they you can like patch in. People can watch.
They're very flexible, right? They can do so many different things.
Yeah, Orca goggles are really cool. So even if you're flying analog, they're just an awesome goggle. Honestly, there's almost no reason to buy Fat Sharks if you need a new pair of goggles. Orcas are pretty damn cool.
Well,
who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? It's I just hope that they don't give up on us, or if they're just putting us to sleep for a little while because of the chip shortage and everything else, that would have been much better to hear.
Yeah, but they won't admit that, John.
Well, no, Night Train. See, Night Train was down there, so he knows that Mike was using Orcas, and because they were talking about. But we've covered a bunch tonight, and we're getting to the point where we've been on for a while.
Oh yeah,
and again, we'll rehash this again as more rumors come out. We basically the only thing we've nailed down. We think anywhere from 1,000 to what did we say 1,300 for the Air 2S, for the regular drone and the Fly More package. We're guessing. We're saying anywhere from April to mid-April for a release. Pay attention for your normal DJI release pattern. So our next will be the blurry leak photos. Is next, or what's next? Blurry leak photos.
Probably. Yeah, I would say probably we're going to get some actual photos next. Okay, just one or two actual photos. Yeah.
Okay. So and then probably a couple of months after that, then we're really going to get serious Mavic 3 leaks or whatever the hell they're going to call it. And then maybe we already kind of nailed down that the Mini's going to be coming out with its refresh around November or December, right? Is that what we got out?
Right.
But we still don't know what the hell is really going to be in any of them. We've kind of speculated that there's going to be a better camera like the Pocket 2 camera and the Air 2S. But really, truthfully, the Mavic 3, we don't know much about. And that's
interchangeable cameras.
So I'm going to throw it around the room and let everybody say their good evenings. And I will first start with Keith.
Oh, I'm going to say good morning because it's morning here. I need to go and make some coffee. Thanks for inviting me on here. It's been fun. It's been fun chatting to you guys about all this speculation and stuff. I wouldn't worry, John. I think DJI are not pulling out the market, but we'll see. We'll see. But yes, anyway, thanks for having me on.
And who would you like to throw it to?
I'll throw it to Sean.
Oh, Sean. Whoop, wrong one. I was guessing.
I thought he was going to say Chuck as well, actually.
Yeah.
Okay,
See?
tonight.
Well, I
tonight,
thought that was the obvious one.
That was the obvious one, yeah.
That's why I screwed up.
Romance.
Yeah, in all seriousness, tonight has proven two things to me. Firstly, if Geeksvana is off air for a couple of weeks, do not have him on your live show the first time he's back on YouTube. And secondly, Sean Hickey and John Cuppi should not live stream together. Thank you.
And we're going to go to, now we'll go to Chet.
Oh, thanks for having me on, guys. Sean, we need to get you on 2K drones. Speaking of me and Keith, by the way. In the future.
Sorry, I'm just losing signal at the moment. Sorry, hello? Hello?
Hello? All right, smart ass. So, and I don't think I think the Air 2 is going to come out by summertime for you FPV guys, because I don't think DJI is stupid enough to abandon the whole thing. They're gonna cut this one off and then go to all new. In my opinion.
Oh, they were stupid enough to put up what they did today. So I mean, I don't know. It's really, really hard to go based on that.
It's just you.
You guys take care.
Cool. All right. So with that being said, I want to give you a kind of a brief preview of what we're going to be doing next week, because next week is the end of the month, and at the end of the month, we always do support your local drone channel.
Yay!
It's going to be a little different because Ron's on vacation, and in order to kind of keep things on our spice up and give some more originality to the show, this week's going to be different because we're going to have someone else choosing the channels. So, are you a Chuck approved channel? And don't forget, that's next week. Support your local drone channel. There's Chuck picks. Be here.
Chuck
next
approved,
week.
baby.
Yes,
Chuck approved.
Yes, be here next week to enjoy that with us. We're all going to have a good time. And with that being said, live long and prosper.